A huge XRP ally is facing a court date coming up here soon that matters to all of us. This has to do with penalties for securities as well as secondary selling rules. Yep, we're the secondary market, everyone. And Coinbase has got a golden parachute out there. Wait until you hear the payout for this employee. Insane. This will give you further insight on why crypto companies are feeling such pain right now and why they have no cash. And Grayscale's in trouble, as well as the SEC is messing up their Grayscale conversion to an ETF while investors are at a 40% discount. Will people be allowed to get their funds from Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, or will we have yet another product falter and go to the wayside? Let's start off with the heat map, and there's a little bit of softness here brewing with Bitcoin down to 22,744. ETH down 4% last 24 hours to 1561. XRP highlight of the show still above 40 cents, which is key, sitting at 40.8. XLM, other friend of the channel, above 9, sitting at 9.1, down almost 4% as well in the last 24 hours. But let's get to this golden parachute. $105 million payday for Coinbase's chief product officer. Chatterjee, who will be selling off a portion of his stock holdings, will make a whopping $105 million after logging out on his last day at Coinbase on February 3rd. Furthermore, he will also retain an additional almost 250,000 shares of Coinbase stock, which is presently valued at around $50 a share. Ever since this information spread, crypto Twitter has been abuzz over the size of his payday amount, especially in the context of Coinbase's subpar performance. The unsuccessful NFT initiative? Yeah. So this dude is getting paid how much to run crappy programs with a company that was constantly losing money? Coinbase was losing like $500 million like this, like that, so quickly. That's why Coinbase's stock tanked, because they had like no cash. They were burning through their cash. Twitter user Autism Capital wrote, a reminder that a mid-project manager got paid $115 million to launch the worst, most embarrassing NFT grift attempt for Coinbase, with a total of 7 daily active users and a transaction volume less than your daily gas fee. So this is the other problem, right? These execs and these big time people, even in their sales or product departments, are getting paid exorbitant amounts without actually giving any good yield. Think about that. This dude is getting paid massive money with a company that's already cash strapped, bleeding cash left and right, and now they got to pay over $110 million for someone whose biggest products out there only had 7 daily active users. It's no wonder why a bunch of these crypto companies are in problem. Bad financial decisions. Grayscale CEO elaborates on whether Grayscale Bitcoin Trust investors will be able to redeem their crypto. Boy, does this look like a face of a man who is scared. If we fail to convert BTC into an ETF, well, let me do this. Let me play this video for you instead.
A point where you're going to allow investors to start redeeming?
Well, certainly the path we've been on with GBTC is to convert it to an ETF. That's the way GBTC was constructed.
Right, but will you let people start taking money out, redeeming, if you are unable to successfully convert it to an ETF? Don't dodge the question.
Ultimately, we have tried to answer that question to the best of our ability, Becky, in that if we do exhaust all of our judicial options to challenge the SEC's stance on this product, we would entertain working constructively with regulators and shareholders to offer a tender offer. And ultimately, that would not be a great outcome.
It wouldn't be, because, again, that would be pennies to the dollar. And think of all the institutional investors that were burned with this. Remember, this product was tailored for institutional level investing with safeties built in, okay, using, U.S. regulatory safety framework. But now, with it being at a 40% discount, okay, on top of that, not being able to redeem, on top of that, the SEC constantly denying their movement to an ETF, we may see this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust product go to the wayside, and I'd be very curious to see what the offer would be in terms of pennies to the dollar. Speaking of the SEC clamping down on crypto, here we go. SEC threatening to bankrupt crypto business, XRP lawyer claims. John Deaton, XRP holders lawyer in the Ripple lawsuit, has made a big allegation against the commission. He stated that the SEC threatened and filed enforcement actions in opposition to crypto firms. However, these cases do not involve fraud and mismanagement. misrepresentation. Check out the tweet from Deaton. And remember, as always, any article you see in this video will be linked in the description below. An incredibly important hearing for all of crypto. I filed an appearance in amicus brief on behalf of Naomi Brockwell. We're asking the judge to clarify that LBC itself is not a security and to explicitly state that in his ruling does not include secondary market transactions. This is huge because let's say that the SEC does win against Ripple Labs XRP. We need to know, hey, what happens to the secondary market? That's people like you and I. We don't want any actions to happen to us. What if it is deemed an unregistered security? Would we all then get in trouble for participating in unregistered securities markets, being that we would be the secondary market? That's why these other hearings are huge. This hearing is held at January 30th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Like I said, we have a couple big news events coming up for the likes of XRP, XLM holders out there on the channel that we have to pay attention to. The first is this hearing. Then we've got BlockFi auction on the 30th. And then on the 1st of February, Jerome Powell and the Fed, quarter or 50 basis point hit. That's why you're seeing a little bit of softness priced into the market, right? It can't be optimistic all the time. A little bit of pullback here waiting for these big dates to come around. Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust seems to be doomed as the SEC has denied ETF conversion now time and time again. And the people, the participants in that product right there can't even withdraw. I mean, there's such a flip on the value to asset right there. It's just a bad situation. But the market seems to know this and not freaking out too much about it. Similar to the Genesis situation where people are like, okay, cool, Genesis went bankrupt. We're going to let those candlesticks turn red. But what we do have to pay attention to is the SEC's action against LBRY. The court case that is happening on the 30th is big because this deals with secondary sales, as well as is LBC declared a security. That also wasn't put in there. This is all important stuff because we need to know, hey, how is the SEC attacking other friends of ours, and how does this apply with potential future outcomes with XRP Ripple Labs SEC case? See, a lot of stuff going on with this. That's why you pay attention to these court cases, so you're further informed on what the SEC as well as the courts are looking at when it comes to secondary markets and actions. In Coinbase, no wonder they're in such bad financial problems. You're paying someone $100 plus $10 million where they launched an NFT program where only 7 active users are using it. Boy, I wish I could get paid $100 million to run a crap program like that. That's the other problem that you're seeing with these crypto companies. Not only did they pay crazy for advertisements, naming rights, stadiums, and all that kind of stuff, they paid people insane amounts without having to perform. Would that happen to you at your job? No, you got to perform every day in order to earn your pay. But these bigs out there taking care of each other with the golden parachute action. Now, as more news breaks, you know I'll break those stories for you. Until then, I'll leave you with this video right here, Crypto Web 3, specifically designed via the YouTube algorithm to wet your mental whistle. I'm going to work out here this morning, pay attention to more of the news that's going on. So until more news breaks, you cool cats, have a great rest of your day.